Aloha everyone, this is Leimomi, Keliikuli Intuitive Soul Alignment Coach here, and I wanted to make a video for you guys to share a little bit more about some mindset tips, some tips that will help you to shift, in your life, in your business, so that there's more abundance, so that you can really create the life that you desire. So if you guys are jumping in, just say hello, just so that I know you're there. And that I want to share some kind of good tips on how you can actually shift this kind of mindset that that like I have to do everything myself or it's not done right. Hi Stacy. So this is one of the biggest ones that I have found like my clients and my audience really struggle with. And a lot of it has to do with this idea of what success needs to look like. So if you have been following me, you maybe have noticed the kind of shifts recently of how more abundant things have become for me, whether it's creating more time freedom to getting more people in my selling out my programs. All of these are actually some of the tools that I have created based upon some of these mindsets. And one of the biggest ones that I'm finding has to do with this one, which is, right, I have to do everything myself, right? Or, it's not done right. So I'm going to talk about kind of those steps on how you can kind of eliminate this idea. And it actually is a success and money mindset that may be blocking you in terms of why you're not creating, what you want in the timeline that you want to. So the first thing that you actually have to realize is that everything around us is beautiful, right? Everything around us, we are surrounded by beauty. We are surrounded by people, places, things, right? And everything around us supports us like all the time. But when we kind of disconnect from our heart and from this loving connection to others, then we tend to feel like that I have to, like everything is doing it by myself. So when you actually reconnect with this deeper love inside, and this is a spiritual perspective that I'm sharing with you now. This is spiritual mindset. When you actually realize that everything around you is so abundant that whatever you want can be brought to you in record time, it will. So one of the key reasons why you're feeling this way, like I have to do everything myself, is because in your heart you have kind of disconnected from yourself and others, whether it's people, places, or things. And so you don't feel like you can receive anything from others. Okay, so we're gonna dig into this even further as to why you don't feel like you deserve, right? This deserve to be supported actually has to do with receiving, right? So the first step that you actually need to realize is that, yes, we are spiritually connected to everything. So everything is always supporting you, right? So that's opening up your spiritual mindset. Then you have to really dig deeper into your success and money mindset stuff. And in there is all that negative talk, right? And you have to see the parts of yourself, like where you have been supported, right? And where you have not been supported in your life and your business. And what really happened to you that created this idea that you're doing everything by yourself, right? So when you start to dig out these moments in your life, you will start to actually realize that those moments actually help you become stronger in some form, right? So what made you stronger was you had to do it by yourself, right? So like, let's say you had experiences where, you had to push through despite, your husband or your children is crazy, chaotic, and you don't really feel like they're there for you to support you, right? Whether it's right now or it was 3 years before, like whatever timeline it was, you had some kind of like overall experiences where you're not feeling supported, right? So again, this has to do with a deeper success mindset that no matter what, like I will create it. I will create it despite I'm not supported. But what happens is you've created so many circumstances where you do everything yourself, right? You're really responsible. You do all your obligations. I should do this, right? Like when you get into that mindset, then you just like get really anxious, right? Like you have to do it, and you start to control. So this is what people start to do when they realize that, damn it, I gotta do everything myself. If I don't do it, you know, I'm not gonna have money on the table, or like there's something, right? Something that there's a resistance as to why you don't receive it. Okay, so that's that second step, is you have to reveal what is your resistance to not receiving, right, this support in some form, receiving help from others. So is it escapism, right? Are you running away from, you know, people because you feel like you have to do everything yourself, right? So you're just disconnecting to the actual support, whether it's people, places, or things that are around you, right? Is it just this inner frustration where, you know, again, you're just blocking it from coming in energetically, physically, spiritually, right? Why the money isn't coming through, right? Because then you have to dig into your money mindset issues that goes deeper into why you're this frustrated, right? Because really frustration and anger all really stems from not being supported, actually, in some form. So if you're having this like loneliness that's happening as an effect of it, it's because, again, you've disconnected from this idea that, again, you have to control, you have to create this, right? This like should kind of mindset. So what is it that's triggering you to recreate the circumstances, right? What are you resisting from receiving? And you can journal about it, or one of the things that I like to do is I like to walk. So like, let's say I had like some drama, you know, my husband was very dramatic to me, wanted me to do this and that, and you know, I don't want to do it, and I'm telling him like, I just wish you would just listen to me and support me. So when you're in that like drama, the only thing you can think about is just disconnect that person, right? So that's the first thing you do, you disconnect. And then when you're in that disconnection, it creates a more hole inside, right? This like, your heart doesn't feel good, you feel blocked, you can't talk, right? You can't speak. So what I like to do is I just go for a walk. I just, you know, clear my head, just move my body. Sometimes it might be dancing or something like that to just get energy flowing again. And when you're doing it, what you want to do is just watch your negative thoughts, right? These thought forms that are coming through, because the frustration you're having with your spouse or that person, right? They are reflecting something that you aren't, that you actually want to kind of resolve. And so think about what it is that like triggered you to get frustrated, to feel very lonely, right? And then to say, shit, I'm just gonna do it myself, right? Where is that coming from? And I can tell you it has a lot to do with, again, being able to receive any form of help, any form of connection. So when I feel that way, what I usually do is, like I said, I go for a walk, and then I think about what is it that I could do that would get me connected again. So maybe not necessarily my husband at the moment, right? What would get me connected? And sometimes that was going for a walk. It was just sitting in the grass, putting my foot in the grass, right? What would get me connected to feel like there is some kind of connection around me, that no matter what is happening, that drama is happening with my spouse, right? Or my children, that example is just where I am blocked in my ability to go forward into the way I'm designed to be, right? So it could be something very simple, like, you know, my husband is upset that I cut the vegetables all wrong, which I'm terrible at cooking, by the way. So I always like, create circumstances where I burn the toast, or circumstances where it doesn't really make sense. Like, it should be like duh, like it should be like done really fast and easy, but it's just not something that my soul likes to do, and I'm not really designed to do anything related to cooking, right? Or health related things. So what I needed to do at the time was to realize, okay, what was it that conversation that I had with my husband about cutting the vegetables? What was that coming from? And it always stems back to, I'm worried that I'm not worthy in some circumstances with the way that he wanted me to cook the thing, or to cut the vegetables in a certain way, right? So these parts of yourself where you have disconnected from being supported and receiving this support, really again is digging into what kind of like mindsets that stop you from feeling connected, from feeling love in some form. So then the third step of this is to actually do 2 actions to show you that you are supported. So what would you need to do, right? And one form of action that will change your mindset that you are supported in some way. So like sometimes it's just like having that conversation again with my husband and saying like, that wasn't nice that you said that to me, about the way I cut my vegetables, right? I really feel like that every time when I cut my vegetables, you always like make me feel small, or like I'm not capable of doing anything, and so I don't deserve any support from you. And because it's usually something small that triggers your relationship to go kind of chaotic, right? So think about this, right? So what is the action that will show you that you are supported in some way? And what you want to do is shift your mindset from, I have to do everything myself, right? Or else it really isn't done right. Like, shift that mindset to, I am fully supported. And I really deserve, right, all the love and connection to create more time freedom. I repeat that. I am fully supported, and I deserve the love and connection to create more time freedom. So this is the mindset shift that you need to make, that is probably causing you again to feel like you have to do everything yourself, right? Or else it isn't done right. And why do you think that way? It's because what you're looking for is that love and connection, or some form of validation, right? Some recognition that you deserve to have this freedom to be who you are, right? To have more time freedom for yourself. Because really what it comes down to is you want to receive and be supported, but you don't feel enough that you deserve to have everything for yourself, right? Or that you have to control the circumstances. You have to go and do that, right? So these are the kind of mindset stuff that we really work on in one of my programs called the 8-week Mastering Your Soul's Gift program. And what we actually do is we work on your spiritual mindset, your success, your money mindset, and what are the things that you need to shift in your life and your business out of self-love. And I'm not talking about self-care. I'm talking about self-love, making key decisions in your life and your business so that you have more time, you have more freedom, you have more creativity, you are able to leave your legacy behind. What are the things that are stopping you from moving forward to your bigger goals? And so the program that I'm creating is all about that, to help you to figure out, okay, what it is that you need to shift in your mindset and also in self-love to move the needle in your business or in your life. And so this program, if you're interested in knowing more about this, feel free to reach out to me. You can also look at my website at www.LeimomiKeliikuli.com. And I also have a Discover Your Business Gifts quiz that actually helps you to understand like how your superpower is actually related to your mindset issues, such as these. And because actually what's really going on inside is a soul alignment problem more than necessarily just a mindset problem. Because when you really are aligned to your soul, all abundance and all things can be created according to whatever you desire, right? And if you want more support in this, you can join my Facebook group at Soul Alignment Leaders for Conscious Living. And I hope that, we can stay connected that way. And if you, ever have any other questions on how you could take your life and business to the next level through doing mindset, self-love tools, and seeing where you need to create more of that time freedom, so you're not creating marketing, content all the time, and that you have more time to spend with your family, to be in nature, and time just to be, who you're meant to be. All right, well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. You guys all have a beautiful day. Aloha.